Okay, welcome everybody to Syngenta Flowers webcast day 2. Thanks to you who joined us for day 1, welcome back. And then for those joining for the first time, welcome. We've got another exciting day packed full of meaty content, so I'm excited to kick it off. My name is Ryan Hall. I am the head of marketing for Syngenta Flowers. With me today are a number of colleagues from the technical side, product management side, so you get to hear from them later because they've got some great stuff to show for you. Before we head into the presentation, just wanted to share with you kind of our key 4 customer promises. This is the stuff that we focus on doing well every day so we can bring more value to your businesses. Number 1, innovative portfolio. This is one we've been focused on for a long time with great products such as Dahlia Sincerity, you name it. Yesterday, you saw a lot of those new exciting products, and today you'll hear about more in our essential portfolio, what we call essentials, essentially kind of those core key items that are must-haves for everybody's program. Then of course we're continue to be obsessed about quality. We know that genetics only get you so far, but we have to deliver it to you in a great product form in seeds and cuttings. So continuing to focus on delivering best-in-class quality to you guys. And then, of course, talking best in class, our technical team. If any of you have seen our new catalog, it's available on the website already. You can see a beautiful spread with our tech team, all their smiling faces, and they are there to help you be successful with your operations. And then lastly, providing impactful marketing. And I hope today will demonstrate that. And of course, those who joined yesterday, bringing you lots of unique and impactful selling tools, content, information to help you understand our portfolio, produce our portfolio, sell our portfolio, depending on where you're at in the value chain. So that's it for me. Again, welcome. I'm going to kick it over to Olivia Sellard. She is our customer marketing manager. And take it away, Olivia. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining day 2 of Syngenta Flowers webcast. It's your digital cast experience. What we've done for you in this shelter-in-place world we are living in now is broadcast to you, to our website. So please do join us and follow along at syngentaflowers-us/webcast. So please do follow along. It's a brand new webpage that we will have all of our cast material. So everything that we had planned on originally showing you, that includes new varieties, technical demos, some of our power brands like Syngenta and Callie, as well as our essentials, are all housed there for you to go back and use as tools for reference in the future. And to kind of experience what CAST has to offer. So please do follow along with us today as we kind of narrate how to use the site, but do know that you can come back to it at any time to find out where all those tools are housed. We've got lots of new information like cell sheets and photos, photo galleries of trials that we've been to, as well as all of the cultural information that our tech team has put together for you as a grower or broker or anyone in the horticulture industry. So with that, we would like to introduce you to some of our best-in-class products. We're going to start today with one of our, we call them power brands, and that's with Tophat Begonia. Take it away, team.
Okay, Olivia, I need you to unshare your screen.
There we go.
Okay. Thank you very much, Olivia. My name is Jamie Gibson. I'm a technical lead for Syngenta Flowers, working in the field with the growers and the sales reps. And wanted to start off the session by showing you the webcast landing page. So this is a kind of a one-stop shop for all of our information that we're presenting here these past couple days. When you scroll down, you can see the quick links, so real quick access to a lot of the information. The video that you just saw in the beginning of the session. You have full access to the 2020-2021 catalog to include the Grower Success Guide, chocked full of technical information. Our technical team, working with the market communications folks, put in all of that critical information for success for propagating and growing your Syngenta products. And then you also have several key links to the new varieties and also our 2 new seed petunias that we're launching this year. So when you scroll down, like Olivia said, we're going to first address one of the power brands. So we're going to click in this power brand window or tile, and very appropriately, Tophat in the middle on the top, much like the flowers, not only on the sides, but Tophat begonia also has a lot of the flower power up on the top part of the canopy. And when you click into that specific link, you have a Tophat landing page with a lot of information, loads of information on the interspecific begonia that we offer. The poster and the POP for retail programs is listed. Our full culture guide, all of our culture guides for our portfolio have been revamped with all of the information. So a lot of great collaboration with our technical team, putting in new tips. And so all of that is accessible and also searchable on our website. You also have the information sheet specific to varieties of Tophat and some information on number of plants per pot, as well as the timing. And then we took some more detail on Tophat and described the tips guide on germination. And we also have a tech guide on growth regulation for the 306 pack. The final link in the Tophat landing page is a webinar that we conducted last summer. And we had about 20 of the largest plug growers in the United States that produce begonias. And we had a great collaborative share, a webinar discussing the trials. So we provided seed, we talked about the experience of Tophat, some tips and tricks on how to propagate Tophat. It was an outstanding exercise, and we have that recorded for you if you need to find more detailed information about Tophat. But just to cover, the POP, the market communications group has worked to generate some beautiful material for you: bench cards, tags, posters, these banners that can be attached to your carts, the tags, and then the handle packs for those 306 packs that we're going to go into more detail with in this session. So wonderful point of purchase material, and that will certainly drive retail sales. I also now want to cover some of the varieties. So you should see a slide with the 4 colors of Tophat on your screen. You have rose bicolor, pink, scarlet, and white. Syngenta Flowers was the first breeding company to introduce in this class of interspecific begonia a white flowering variety. And in our research, in our trials with this specific interspecific class of begonia, we investigated all of the performance in various containers against a lot of the other classes or other series of interspecific begonia. And what we found is we were finishing about 1 week earlier than other interspecifics. So the flowers were on top of the plant. And this really resonates with growers when you look at a production aspect of finishing the crop at a faster turn. And so we also took a really deep investigation into the flower size. So Dr. Allison Carlson and team in Gilroy actually measured the flower diameters, and they came to find out that they were 20% larger in size than some of the other series. Tophat is such a versatile product, grown in the 306 pack, to the quart, to the gallon, to the hanging basket, 10-inch, 12-inch, and also larger deck planters. Just a versatile plant. And here you can see it in these various container sizes, and then the performance in the landscape, both sun and shade. So brilliant colors to come out in the densest of shades, and then also in full sun. In fact, this Tophat Scarlet produces a very attractive bronzing of the foliage in full sun. So it performs well sun and shade. And by far, this is probably my favorite image when it comes to Tophat. This is the rose bicolor, and you can see it in full sun. The pigmentation on the margins of the flowers, just highly attractive. It really passed the 55-mile-an-hour test. When you're driving 55 miles an hour past that trial plot and you saw Tophat performing like this, it was just really exciting. And then the pictures tell 1,000 words. So those really sweet spots, those perfect niches for Tophat is that 306 pack all the way up to the deck planter. And so when you talk about the versatility and the tightness and the tidiness of Tophat, it really does go back to how this plant is performing not only as a finished plant, but also in propagation. From a finished standpoint, just a few more highlights showing you how the cell pack, the 306 cell pack, is performing with flowers on top compared to some of the other interspecific series that are available in the industry. Again, showing you that flower size diameter, and then really hitting home the pictures here, the image here with flowers on top and sides, as opposed to some of the interspecific begonias, the more cane types or wing types, where the flowers just sit on the shoot tips, and you can see Tophat having that advantage across the entire plant. So the tidiness of the 306 pack also goes right back into the propagation aspects. And so when you go to the website, the landing page for Tophat, you can click on the germination tips guide. And this was a process of really investigating the performance of Tophat in various germination scenarios, in large propagators, greenhouses, in germination chambers, and on the bench. And we came up with 4 key tips to properly germinate Tophat begonia and finish it as a plug. Typically, the plug finishes in about 7 to 8 weeks. And what you'll tend to see is the seedling size is a little bit smaller than the other interspecifics. So one of the big insights that we learned with Tophat is it really should be segmented by itself or on the perimeter of other interspecifics, you know, amongst the others like the dragon wings and the bigs and the whoppers and the megawatts. We would encourage you to put the Tophats in one particular area so that they could be managed with a little more nurturing, a little more moisture, as it takes a little bit slower out of the gate seedling development. So that would be one thing. Segment the Tophat in one particular area, whether it's in your germ chamber or on the bench. The other is completely dissolve the pellet. All of our begonias have the same pellet compound. So it doesn't matter if it's Bada Bings or Bada Booms or Volumias or Eurekas or Bravehearts, it's the same pellet compound. So we really encourage you to take a very fine mist nozzle and remove the compound from the seed so you have visuals on the seed, and avoid really high pressure because you don't want to bury the seed. We also encourage you to try to keep the germination relative humidity as close to 100% as possible in the cell size area, or closest to the cell. A 74° Fahrenheit is recommended. And if you need to improve the moisture and uniformity for germination, using Remay or using even plastic covering for about 21 days to just improve humidity and germination and cotyledon emergence from the growing medium is encouraged. The final tip is to provide high quality light. So whether it's good quality light in the germ chamber or if you're germinating right on the bench, we really encourage the best quality light as possible. Light is so beneficial for germination when it comes to begonias. So these are some of those key tips, and we've really come a long way. You know, we gained a lot of insights. We did a lot of interviews with these propagators. Some propagators were having some challenge, but we've tended to see where all of those propagators are now overcoming these challenges, really delivering well over 87, 88, 90, 93% germination for Tophat. And so we're very proud of those propagators to implement a lot of these cultural practices. So that's the germination guide. And you can also take a look at that webinar that we recorded, and you can get a little more learnings from that, that posting as well. the final document that I'd like to share with you is our 306 pack PGR tech guide. And one of my amazing colleagues, Mr. Don Snow, recommended that we trial this particular study with various plant growth regulators and the 306 pack Tophat. And so we grew all 4 colors in those packs, and we did apply various growth regulators to the trays. So once the crop was about midway through production, Dr. Carlson's team applied these PGRs. So typically in a PGR trial, we have an untreated control. We then have our various grower-friendly PGRs such as B9. We have a tank mix of B9 and Psychocell. And then we also investigated Syngenta's product Bonsai as a spray or a drench. So the sprays were 5 to 10 parts per million sprays. The drenches were either a 1/4 part per million or a 1 part per million drench. And so these were applied to those jumbo 306 packs. And at finish time, we saw that we did achieve some height control with various PGRs. We did find, though, that there was some impact on flower size of some of those treatments. So for example, the 5 to 10 part per million bonsai spray did cause the flower size to be slightly smaller, but it did provide some growth control. When you looked at the 1/4 part per million drench, you didn't have much reduction in flower size. You actually had a nice, large, robust flower still. And so this would be one of those recommendations, primarily for the wholesale growers producing Tophat, where they can get control and also not avoid condensing the flower. The 1 part per million bonsai drench was very effective, but it did cause a little bit of stunt. So we would discourage that. A lot of those rates are typically used on a lot of the other cane type interspecifics when they're trying to gain greater control and they're waiting on the flowers. With Tophat, you already have the flowers developing well throughout production. And so those lighter concentrations of drenches are very effective. What Dr. Carlson's team also did is they then took those plants and they put them into trade gallon pots, and they grew them for 8 weeks to evaluate the grow out. And what they found was that 1/4 part per million bonsai drench is a really good recommendation for growth control and avoidance of stunt, and it provided nice grow out into larger containers. And so again, the 1 part per million drench, a little more restriction, a little more stunting, and so that 1/4 part per million drench is really the sweet spot. Again, B9, great tool, great product, or even the tank mix as growth regulators for that 306 pack. B9, of course, for most of our container sizes for Tophat is the recommendation. And then you could also implement those bonsai sprays. You are going to get some reduction of flower size, but it could be used as a PGR tool. So take a look at this document. It's a very one-page, very user-friendly piece of literature. And really, we encourage you to continue to experience Tophat. We're very proud of this product, and we wish you all the best in production. With that, I'm going to turn it over to my friend and colleague, Amy Briggs-Maka. So I'm going to stop sharing, Amy, and it is all yours.
Amazing. Thank you, Dr. Gibson. As usual, you're a wealth of knowledge. I always learn something new when I get to listen to you. So thanks for that great information. Hi, everybody. It's Amy Briggs-Maka. I am a product manager for our Vegetative Spring Annuals. Thanks again for joining us for day 2 of our digital cast web experience. I think we had a great day yesterday talking about all of our really innovative and fun new varieties. I've got you guys for about a half hour here, so we're going to do a little bit more of a deep dive into some of our essential categories. So with that, let me share my screen with you. Okay, everybody. So as we are on our landing page here for our digital cast presentation, you can see we've got this great landing page. And as we move down, we're going into these essential categories. So today we're going to start with Calibrachoa. So what's great about this landing page is as you click onto this, you can see it takes us to everything you need to know about Calibrachoa. So when we talk about essential categories, we're really looking at those core items that we know growers are using. And we've got just some great tools to help you kind of sort through all of our different varieties and how to use these important crops successfully within your programs. So as we look specifically here at Calibrachoa, you can see we've got these great links. By the way, if you didn't get a chance yesterday, this link will take you to all of our new variety information in a downloadable packet where you can take notes or just have it on your desk. As we go down, you can see in our essential Calibrachoa assortment, we've got two great series, Cabrio and Callie. So let's click here into this product overview. And you can see here, this product overview jumped us right to our interactive catalog. So we've got this beautiful catalog that our marketing team worked a million hours to put together, and it was worth their effort because it's super interactive here on the website and gives you a nice view of our full assortment of Callies and then Cabrio. So let's do a little bit deeper dive on our Calibrachoa series so we can really get into the meat here. So starting here with Cabrio Calibrachoa, this is a series that we introduced about 3 years ago. We asked our amazing plant breeder, Mitch Haynes, who is responsible for all those amazing Calliope geranium varieties, to take a crack at Calibrachoa. And in the last 4 years or so, he has really just opened up the door on some amazing innovative breeding, great flower colors, super well-matched habits. So this is part of his breeding work, where he's really dialed into varieties that are very day neutral. So we're selecting for a 10.5-hour day length, but also super uniform plants across all these colors. So keep in mind, when we add varieties into this Cabrio series, we're going to be very specific that we have all 8 colors. Any colors added in match really well, so that when you're selecting different varieties here, you can feel very confident that they're going to flower about the same time and they'll have very well-matched habits. And then as we look at our Calibrachoa Callie series, so this is really our workhorse of Calibrachoa. So Callie is known for its continuous color, really great big flowers. We're also selecting new varieties for day length neutrality, but you'll see we have a ton of colors here. So as we talked about yesterday, Callie Purple Improved is a new variety for the 2021 season. So this will replace the old Callie Purple. And this is just a really solid variety. It is at about 11.5 hours for photo period response time, but just a really nice mounded habit, really strong color. And so you can see we've got a boatload of colors within these Callies. We're constantly looking for improvements, earlier flowering, selecting for varieties that are less sensitive to high pH situations so that they don't yellow out. We've gone through here on this side just as a quick glance to identify what we consider our kind of core day neutral varieties. So as you look at this long list of varieties, you can really start to pick out the varieties. If you want to have a more day length neutral variety, these are great varieties to pick. So keep in mind when you're working with Callie, they're going to be a little bit more vigorous compared to Cabrios. So your Cabrios will sit in that quart production, more high density, and then these Callies have a little bit more vigor. They work great in our quick combos, especially when we start mixing them with some of our more vigorous petunias. You can see here we've got some great information on how to slot these varieties together, but also, as Jamie shared with us in his presentation, we have got amazing resource in our catalog with this grower success guide. So you can see here, I just pulled this directly out of the catalog. We have all the information you guys need to be successful, not only in propagation, but also finishing. So our tech team has done an amazing job of pulling together this information. As you dig into the meat of this information, you'll see where they've got different recommendations for PGRs and that kind of thing, just depending on the series. And so while we're talking about vegetative propagation for Calibrachoa, I did just want to take a minute to give a shout out on our quality coming out of our farm in Guatemala. Our friends down at Capac Plantas, our farm down there, are doing an amazing job with really pushing for outstanding quality. It's one of the pillars of our business, is to be obsessed with quality, and the team down in Guatemala takes that seriously. So they've done a ton of work partnering with our technical specialists on how to really put out the best quality Calibrachoa and Petunia cuttings on the market. So you have to imagine how difficult it's been for our stock growers when we're asking our breeders to have varieties that flower at 10.5-hour day length. They're sitting at the equator, which is about 12 hours all the time, so they were having stock plants that were in full flower. So you can imagine that's not great for their productivity, but it's also sending a cutting that's already initiated flowering for the propagators. Causes issues with slower to root, and that cutting just isn't putting the energy into building a nice root system and vegetative growth. So with some blackout treatments down at the farm, we're able to keep our stock in a vegetative state, and it really has improved our quality overall. So on this photo, you can see with Cabrio Amethyst under that blackout, how much more robust those cuttings are. Just another really nice overview comparing our Calibrachoas grown under those blackout conditions compared to competitor varieties, where you see a lot of flowers coming right after sticking. And of course, it's because we all love those day length neutral varieties. So hats off to our stock farm team for really pushing to improve their quality and using technology and science to produce some outstanding cuttings. So as we look here a little bit at our Calibrachoa vegetative finishing, you can see again from, this is all in our catalog, the information we've got on vegetative finishing as well. What's nice here down here is it lists all of the varieties again, gives you some kind of vigor comparisons of all the varieties within the series. And as you can see here, also day length requirements. So MPR is minimum photo period requirement. Cabrio should always be at that 10.5 hours. And then for Callie, of course, since we have a much wider ranging variety list and many, many years of breeding, you can see we've got a little bit more of a spread on photo periods. So I think this table is a gem when you're trying to pick out varieties that you think you'll like to use in your production. You can really dial into vigor, timing, and also photo period. So if you know you need to ship something early and you don't have lights, well, you should probably avoid these varieties that have a 12-hour photo period and pick something that's a little bit earlier to time. So Jamie, of course, I am calling this Dr. Jamie's top picks in these programs, where he's really done a great job of pulling together all of the technical information that is really a team effort between Dr. Allison and our IE greenhouses in Gilroy, our other amazing tech team members who are out in the field taking notes, doing trials, feedback from trial gardens, you name it. We get a boatload of data, and our team does a great job of filtering through it to get these kind of recommendations. It's probably one of the biggest questions we get asked, which varieties we should pick for a really good program. So it's nice when we can produce these little cheat sheets on, if you only have a certain number that you can produce, let's focus on these great core varieties for a successful program. And then one last note here on our Callie assortment. Last year, we had one of these great Eclipse raspberry variety introduced. Huge flowers, amazing mounded habit, super great input from summer trial gardens. You can see at Plant Peddler, it took top spot for a favorite variety out in that trial garden. Unfortunately, we had a snag in supply chain, so we didn't have cuttings available. The Callie Eclipse raspberry is back in the mix for next year, so make sure if you didn't to get a chance to book some for next year, because this is a variety you really don't want to miss. Okay, so we've got a great view of our Calibrachoa. So let's move on next and do the same kind of deep dive with Dahlias. So again, I'm just on our CAST landing page. So if everybody's following along, or if you want to go back later, we go into the essential Dahlia assortment. So this has been a really fun product to be a part of. We acquired a lot of breeding from a company called Verver last year, which gave us a huge pipeline of dynamic varieties that included dark leaf varieties. Verver also is known for their Karma series, so we've got these amazing cut flower Dahlia types. And so just the possibilities are endless on this Dahlia series. So really, it's great that we have this spot here on the website to help everybody kind of navigate where we're going within our Dahlia assortment. So you can see again here, all the same links for our Dahlia overview, culture sheets, cell sheets, all this information housed right here for you guys to go back and look at. Again, if we just jump to our catalog page, or just a simple click, and magically we're right at our Dahlia assortment page, starting with what's nice in the catalog. For these essential crops, we have a lot of these overviews that really help you kind of identify for these Dahlias, which varieties are green leaf varieties, which varieties are dark leaf, and then giving you some guidance in terms of vigor as well. So as we deep dive a little bit here into our essentials on Dahlias, just a little reminder, we've got 5 series in total for Dahlias now. Go Dahlias has been a 2-color series that's been on the market for ever since I can remember, at least. So it's a pretty well-known little series. They're super unique bicolor flowers. Keep in mind, these are pretty tiny plants, so they're really meant for like a 4-inch or quart production, but a fun kind of point of retail, impulse buy, first color of spring kind of item. So definitely a fun little series. And then we move on to Grand Dahlias, which is really our core for that traditional green leaf double flowered type Dahlia. They just boast those huge, large flowers. They've got nice vigor. So these guys work great as you're doing 3-quart containers or into a larger patio. Last year with the Verver acquisition, we acquired Happy Days and Dahlegria. Happy Days, it was actually a commercial series that maybe some of you are already familiar with. And then we launched Dahlegria Dahlias to go along with it. These are both dark foliaged series, bright single petal blooms, and really pretty great landscape performance as we continue to screen for things like powdery mildew. And then last but certainly not least on our list for Dahlias is Sincerity. This was our showstopper last year. Just an outstanding standalone variety so far, but a really cool kind of almost cut flower type flower on the chassis of a traditional Dahlia body. So again, here's Grand Dahlia. We've got 15 colors in this range, and this is just a good core series. If you just need your good bread and butter Dahlia series, the colors are consistent, the habits are really well matched across all the colors. We've got some interesting kind of ice varieties that have popped into this series in the last couple years. The Sunny Flame gets a really deep orange tip to the petals, and it's just really beautiful. And then again, here's Happy Days. So we kind of relaunched this series last year. And like I said, with the Verver acquisition, we've got a ton of breeding in the pipeline. So lots of options for working this series and getting some new exciting varieties out. Happy Days is a little bit more compact. So I would definitely recommend doing this in a quart up to a 3-quart pot. I think these are great for a nice point of sale retail program. They've got that super bright flower that consumers are just automatically drawn to, these bright flower colors that play so well on that dark foliage. So they're just a really neat, fun product. New this year is this Happy Days Fuchsia Halo. So check out that color. It is just a dynamic, bright fuchsia with that yellow center. It really pops. We've also already improved one variety on the Happy Days. So this is Happy Days Purple Improved. for a little bit better matched habit, a little earlier to flower, and better flower quality. So we've already been able to do some photoperiod screening thanks to Dr. Allison, who is a workhorse in turning out this data for us. So we have a fairly well-matched series here below. I've kind of highlighted some of the varieties that are a little bit of an outlier. So we've got the Happy Days Neon and White and Scarlet that are just a little bit earlier, and then Lemon and Purple tend to be just a hair later than the rest of the colors, but otherwise a pretty strong series. And then when we look at Dahlegria, this was also a new series that we released out of the Verver pipeline. So again, like the Happy Days, it's got that really dark foliage. Our breeding profile here is to select for the darkest foliage possible. I mean, if we could get black foliage, those are the varieties we're going for, because we just love how it plays with those bright flower colors. And it really, again, on the consumer side, people just are really drawn to that bright contrast. So when you think about Happy Days as a little bit smaller plant, Dahlegria most certainly goes a little bit larger. I think this is a great option for landscape because it's got a little bit more vigor and will fill that landscape better. We're currently doing our very best to screen for powdery mildew resistance. We know that that's a big issue with dahlias, so we want to make sure we're getting the most disease-resistant varieties out into the market. So you'll see us to continue to improve our varieties and rework these assortments as we get that data back. For new varieties here on Dahlegria, this is Magenta Bicolor. Again, another really fun, bright bicolor bloom on that dark foliage. And Sunrise is just a beautiful kind of red to orange bicolor. Improvement on Dahlegria Red is for a really much larger flower than the original red on a little bit tighter habit and a little bit earlier flower. Again, great work from Dr. Allison and her team on getting us photoperiod information. So we really know how these varieties kind of time out together. So you can see we've got a couple outliers in comparison to the other colors. So white being a little bit later to flower, where the tricolor apricot and the orange bicolor just a hair earlier. So again, a pretty well-matched series. We've got some really neat varieties in the pipeline, so stay tuned as we continue to work these dark leaf varieties. So of course, Dr. Jamie loves when I shout out all the time about how great him and our technical team do on giving us this kind of information to help you guys as growers and selling these items to make sure that we're giving you packages that work in real life and that you can produce really nicely matched programs. So another little cheat sheet from the tech team on if you have to just pick a handful, these are your best varieties for a matched program. And then last here on our Dahlia Essentials is Sincerity. Again, I hope everybody remembers this plant from last year because it was wowzer. We really got a lot of attention last year at CAST, and then at Cultivate, this was a 2019 Greenhouse Grower Medal of Excellence winner. And we couldn't be more pleased because we all knew we had something special when we saw this plant. These big, big flowers, 4-inch or larger as we've seen, pink bicolor white flowers are just dynamic. The best part about this plant is you get those huge flowers, but the plant itself is pretty manageable. So you get the benefit of a really big, beautiful flower, but on a controllable chassis of a plant. So this is great for landscape, but also really beautiful in large containers for your patio. Again, our grower success guide should really be everybody's go-to when you're looking at these new products or even your existing, just to kind of beef up on your production protocols. One thing I'd like you guys to all really note here for the dahlias is I think most people know that dahlias are facultative short days, so they flower faster under short days, but you really need to be careful that you're giving a good balance of photo periods so that you get a good balance of vegetative growth and flowering. If you just go straight to short days, you're going to get flowers with no body to the plant. So our tech team has done a great job of identifying photo period and recommendations for ideal photo period for producing Sincerity. They've done a ton of trialing on pinch, don't pinch. They are recommending a pinch. They've done great work on number of plants per pot, depending on pot size. So again, this piece in our catalog for successful finishing of Sincerity is really something you should check out. Okay, so last on our list today for essential crops, and certainly not least, are petunias. So again, from our webcast landing page, I've gone into our essential petunias, and it's brought me here to this beautiful banner. But again, all of these great links to take you to culture guides. There's also some fantastic videos of our tech team. So make sure when you're looking for something to do while you're in stay-at-home mode, lots of great information to keep you entertained here. This Petunias Essential spot houses not only vegetative varieties, but also our seed varieties. So after I'm done, we'll hand off to our seed product manager, Mike Mergiano. He'll go through that with you. But I'm going to focus on our vegetative varieties. So again, we've got these great overviews to help you guys kind of navigate which series to use and what application. So as you're looking at spreading versus trailing to mounding, which varieties work, and then of course, compact all the way up to vigorous. Again, jumping to our incredible interactive catalog takes us to that same information on the overview of usage for all these varieties. So then, of course, you can just flip through and see the candy shop of flower colors that we have among all of our different Petunia series. So we'll do one more deep dive on Petunia as our essential category. So as you saw in the catalog, Petunia Sanguna is really our go-to series for big flowers, more vigorous mounded basket types. We've been working on Sangunas for many, many years. We're always looking to our breeders to find novel colors, earlier flowering, habits that are well matched and controllable, and we just continue to see some really great upgrades in our Sanguna line. So because there are so many colors in this series, you can see that we've got quite a list here of vigor classes. So this also is listed right in the catalog among the 21 varieties of Sangunas that we offer. So you have a really quick snapshot of most compact with that Sanguna red, all the way down to our very most vigorous with our new introduction last year of Sanguna Star Rose, which is right here. So definitely utilize this as you're planning your production to make sure if you need things to be fairly well matched or you're trying to mix with other components that you're picking vigors that work for what you need. Also within the Sanguna assortment, we have marked in our catalogs these little stars, which indicate our best or top sellers. So definitely a great way to kind of focus in on which varieties can work best in your programs. And then for Sanguna patio, so if you think of Sanguna as those mounding hanging basket types, our patios are these compact and very early habits. So perfect for pints, high density growing, that great retail point of sale where you need a lot of in-your-face color in that early spring season. We love these patio types. We've got some really great colors here, 11 varieties totals in the series right now. And I'd say probably the most consumer favorite, of course, are always these kind of funky, radiant tie-dye types. So Radiant Rose and Radiant Violet are definitely two favorites among these. And then moving on to Dekko Petunia. Again, we talked a little bit about this yesterday in our new varieties presentation with this introduction of Dekko Banana for next season, but Dekko is definitely our workhorse in the landscape. It's got a beautiful mounding habit that spreads. The flowers are a little bit smaller, so they really hold up out in the landscape. So they're very weather resistant. That's because the flowers are smaller, they tend to shed water. They don't lodge when they start to mound. So absolutely a fantastic landscape performer. Again, this Banana Dekko is new for this year. So we tried to kind of highlight here where with the bold blue color, our core assortment. So again, I'd love you to grow every single color, but if you only need to pick a few for your program, these are the ones that we suggest as either top sellers or just well matched. But honestly, in this Dekko series, the whole series is extremely uniform. So you can see we've got some great field shots of our Dekko White Improved, deep lavender vein, and you can really see how incredible that mounded habit is. It's just really a carpet of color. So that's definitely the profile that we go for when we select for Dekko petunias to make sure that we're consistent across all the colors that have the same habit. Again, just have to show off some of the great field performance with our Dekkos out in summer field trials, ranging all the way from up in Canada at the Guelph University trials, Penn State, right in the middle of the summer when it's hot and humid and petunias just want to melt. Dekkos are still kicking butt. And of course, down at Metrolina, where they have beautiful trial gardens that go all summer long, you can see that Dekko is a great performer there too. This is New Jersey Vineland Research Station, and I love this photo just to demonstrate the uniformity across colors. Just that beautiful mounded type. These Dekkos do great in hanging basket containers. We love them for quick combos. If you haven't picked up that KK and Dekko, is because this is a staple for our quick combo mixes as well. And once again, we have to give a shout out to our Dr. Jamie because he gives us such great data. Again, a quick little cheat sheet for everybody on trying to navigate through all of the different varieties. I find this especially helpful for the Syngenta series where you've got 21 varieties to pick from. So if you're really just looking at having a core, more narrow assortment of colors, this is a great place to start for well-balanced programs. So we've also been working on a lot of really fun novelty varieties within our Petunia assortment. So last year we introduced Shortcake, and this is Shortcake Blueberry, and I am just in love with this little plant. Super floriferous, that stable flower color all summer long. This plant never loses that habit. So we've got just this one color, but you can see in our summer trials last year, it was a standout no matter where. So again, up in Canada at Sawaya Gardens, all the way down to our field trials in Gilroy, California, where we were, consistently up to 100-degree day heat. And you can see the plant never lost its shape. The color is consistent. So just a really fun, novel color, flower color, something to kind of inject a little fun into your programs. Along that same line with standalone varieties, this year our new introduction is Itsy, but don't let that name fool you. She might be tiny, but she is really, really tough. It's got a beautiful mounded habit, just a ton of tiny little magenta colors. This plant is a workhorse and it will take abuse. I just can't tell you how impressed I've been seeing this plant in real life. It plays well down in a quart pot if you need to do some high density growing, but it also has the vigor and the mounding to work really well in a larger container. And so I shared this photo yesterday during New Varieties because I just think this is the perfect example of what Itsy does in the garden. This is into summer in Grand Rapids. Itsy never lost her shape, kept flowering the whole summer long. So just really an outstanding variety. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing and hand off to my good friend, Mike Murgiano, who now is going to take you guys through essentials on seed petunias.
All right, everyone, welcome. And my name is Mike Murgiano, for those of you who don't know me, and for those of you who are new joining, who didn't join our webcast yesterday. Today I'm going to share a quick overview in the next 15 minutes of our seed petunia assortment. So starting where Amy left off on our webcast page, as she highlighted, if you find your way to the Essentials Petunia section and scroll to the bottom of that section, you'll find below the vegetative a nice chart here that covers our entire seed assortment. Going further down to the bottom, and this information also is in our catalog. So if you, again, select on one of the products here, and go to product overview into the online catalog interactive, and you come to the Petunia section and you'll find the same information, including a chart here with all the information that I'll cover in a little bit more detail from our webcast page. So a lot of great information there, easy to find in both the catalog and here on the website. Because we only have 15 minutes, we have a huge seed assortment, many of which I hope you're familiar with. I'll just give a high-level overview of where everything fits. And then for those of you who didn't join our call yesterday, I want to dive a little bit more deeply into our photo finish and flash forward launches. And for those of you who were on the call yesterday, I hope I have a little bit different and new information to share with you as well to broaden your knowledge of those products. So the chart here on the webcast page on the essential petunias for seed is set up from our most compact types and smallest flowered on the lower left-hand side of the chart, going over as you go up to the upper right side of the chart to our most vigorous spreading types and our largest flowered types. So it goes from milliflora, or small flowered at the bottom, micro flowered, all the way up to grandiflora, large flowered on the top of the chart. Picabella is a unique product within the Syngenta assortment and on the market from seed. It's a true dwarf flowering petunia with very small flowers and very small plants. It's great for packs and great for landscape applications. And great for patio container applications. So really small growing and very early flowering. So a great item, doesn't require any PGRs. Nice novelty impulse item for edging and for small containers. We also offer a full range of genetic compact series. So you can see here in our Duvet and Damask petunias, a multiflora Damask and a grandiflora and Duvet. And Damask is really great for high density production and also offers wonderful landscape performance for a multiflora type, but with that genetic compact habit that doesn't break open and offers good garden fill as well. Duvet is also genetic compact, so it doesn't require very many PGRs, but it has that large grandiflora flower size on it. So great for impulse sales at retail, also great for pack, high density production and sales. And something that I'd recommend more where Damask really has that super strong garden performance. Duvet is probably better suited for drier climates, the Southwest, West Coast, where you have less rain, but still fills and has a really big flower and fills out beautifully in the garden as well. So Damask is a little bit more weather tolerant. Duvet offers the really big flowers for a high retail appeal and for drier climates. Again, looking back at the chart, we also have in the traditional upright petunia types, we have our Petunia series, which is a grandiflora, and it's been on the market. It's a combination from our legacy breeding of 3 of our legacy breeding companies, petunias that are the best matched, earliest flowering, and really nicely branched but strong vigor standard grandiflora petunias. Offers a full color range and is especially unique for the fact that it offers bicolor stars, morns, as well as the key range of solid core colors of red, whites, blues, and pinks, all with very early flowering, also under very short days. So it's a really nice workhorse part of the assortment. It does require PGRs like any traditional upright petunia, but once out in the garden, it's a really strong, vigorous growing variety. And Hurrah is our multiflora type, also in the standard class. So it has a standard petunia vigor and great garden fill, requires PGRs in production, but all of these varieties are great for both packs, pots, and larger containers, depending on the type of grower that you are and the PGR regime that you prefer to use. And finally, in our spreading class, we have 2 new series, the FlashForward and Photo Finish. FlashForward being a milliflora or mini flower type, and Photo Finish being a traditional multiflora type. And I'll go into the slides on those 2 series in a moment. But before I move on, I would like to call out our Skybox series, it's a new color that was launched last year. And Skybox is really a spectacular basket item. It's a grandiflora spreading type petunia. It has a super stable star pattern on it and the look and feel of a premium cutting type petunia with all the efficiencies of a seed production. So this is one, if you didn't try it last year, I really encourage you to take a close look at Skybox. It's just a beautiful specimen, single item, novelty item, great for special retail programs throughout the spring. Very, very early flowering, very little day length sensitivity, so it flowers in very short days, and very reliable performer. Great branching habit, as you see here in the photo. So now I'd like to take the next 10 minutes to quickly go a little bit more deeply into both flash forward and photo finish. Here we have a little bit more detail. I'll start with flash forward, and as I mentioned, flash forward is our milliflora spreading petunia. For those of you who are familiar with the former Syngenta flowers assortment, Picabella Cascade we had in this class, and flash forward is a replacement and improvement upon our Picabella Cascade type. And when I've talked to growers and to sales reps in particular, Picabella Cascade has been one of these varieties that everyone feels is incredibly underrated because of the wonderful performance that it offered in the garden with its smaller flowers, but a controlled spreading habit. And flash forward takes that performance to the next level. We hope that with the launch of flash forward, it gives our sales folks as well as growers another opportunity to talk about this underrated class to retailers, to get it into the hands of consumers, because we don't know, time and time again, from a performance at consumer level, this product never fails. The nice thing about flash forward, in addition to being an upgrade on Picabella Cascade, we now have added a blue to the range. We've also added a true pink, which you see here on this slide. And those are really nice, vibrant colors. And especially nice with having a blue in the range now is that it allows us to offer a red, white, and blue mix. And this product is really, because of its compact habit, doesn't spread or break open. It really has strong holding ability at retail in baskets or in small pots or large packs. So it's a nice item for late spring sales, as well as early sales because of its earliness, but for late spring, for its opportunities for red, white, and blue baskets, containers from Memorial Day or for 4th of July sales, a nice season extending product. And because of its extremely branching plant habit, will hold better at retail, and also when it gets into the consumer setting, it holds in the garden. So similar to the photos that Amy just showed you of Dekko petunias, the Picabella Cascade offers that same tight, controlled habit in the garden, but covered with flowers under various circumstances. The photo on the left is from our California trials. The photo on the right is from the Costa winter trial in Florida this past winter of the flash forward sky blue. So flash forward is really a step change in performance for the spreading petunia class. We really encourage you to take a look at it again for this milliflora flowering spreading petunias, to introduce your customers to it. And I can assure you that they'll be impressed with what they see, both from a greenhouse as well as from a garden performance perspective. Also want to call out again one more time the red, white, and blue combinations that are an opportunity with flash forward. Very well matched. The white is a nice upgrade over the Picabella Cascade that we had in the past, a much tighter plant habit. And you see the red, white, and blue very well matched here. Perfect for baskets, perfect for landscape applications as well. Photo finish is more traditional spreading petunia, but I want to point out that it in no way is it old-fashioned. So it's a multiflora spreading petunia. It replaces and improves upon the former workhorses of our petunia class at Syngenta Flowers, the Plush and Ramblin series. So Plush and Ramblin will be phased out this year, and Photo Finish will be the replacer. And the key advantage that Photo Finish offers compared to those varieties, those series that it replaces, but also the varieties that are currently on the market from our competitors, is its extreme programmability. It's very, very uniform for flower timing as well as for plant habits. So it allows growers to get perfectly matched finished plants for finishing and for hitting key retail dates during the spring. Very early flowering, you can see here the red, white, and blue very well matched, as well as the pink. So this has been one of the biggest challenges when you look at existing spreading petunias on the market. Your reds tend to be extremely compact, your blues very vigorous or very weak. We've really cracked that situation. We've really improved on it with the photo finish series with the uniformity that you see here. Very early and consistently uniform flowering across the range. In the next slide, you can see the full range of colors. So not only do we have core red, white, and blue colors, but we also offer another very important color, the burgundy, but also two novelty colors in the Rose Morn and Rose Star. And again, you can see the consistency across the series in these photos, both in the quart or 4.5-inch pots that you see here, as well as the baskets in the photos. I'd also like to show a few comparison photos of photo finish compared to key competitors on the market. So in the next series of photos, you can see photo finish compared to Success, as well as compared to Easy Wave, all in the same trials, grown the same way. These are from our spring trials last year on Dijk in the Netherlands. So under lower light intensities that are typical of the Dutch situation and relatively short day production time of the year. So again, photo finish on the left and both of the pictures compared to Success. And I think what you see in this next series of slides is that photo finish really kind of hits the sweet spot, whereas some of the competitor varieties tend to be very compact and very early, or others might be early but very vigorous. Sweet spot, photo finish goes right down the middle there and gives you both earliness as well as a more controlled plant habit that's easier for the grower and retailer to maintain, but bursts into color in the garden. Here you see the whites with photo finish again on the left compared to, on each of the photos, compared to Success and compared to Easy Wave. Again, you see a more compact plant habit than you typically would have on Easy Wave, and with Success about the same type of vigor compared to Success in the white class. In blues, I think we have a really, the photo finish blue really offers some very clear advantages, as you see in this photo. So consistent with the red and white, more or less, in plant vigor, but much stronger and more body than the Success offers, and a more compact plant habit than the Easy Wave offers. So again, it allows you to really match up your red, white, and blue production, and also your purple, burgundy color class, as well as you saw in the other photos that I presented. Here you see some pictures of the great landscape performance that photo finish also offers. And I think this is really worth noting because the assumption is that all spreading petunias will offer great garden performance. And as I talked about with FlashForward, I mean, FlashForward is probably the most resilient in the garden of any of the spreading types as far as the way the flower holds up. But photo finish has really made an extra step forward in the earlier flowering class of spreading petunias. And this red is consistently been a top performer compared to all the competitors that we've seen in trials across the US, as even including really harsh climates in the southeastern US under high heat, humidity, and rain in midsummer trials. It's looked similar to what you see in this photo here across all of these trials. So really strong performance from a red in the garden, which is not typical in spreading petunias. Here you see some of the other colors as well. So the pink, the Rose Star, Rose Morn, and Salmon as well. So all consistent, strong performers in the garden all summer long. With that, I like to wrap up the quick discussion on our petunia assortment. And I believe we are now scheduled for a short break of about 5 minutes. Olivia, if, or Brandon, yep, I got it. So hopefully we'll be back again in 5 minutes. So enjoy a few minutes, and we'll be starting up again with my colleague, Matt Blanchard, and he'll be talking about our geranium assortment, our vegetative geranium assortment, including our power brand of Calliope. Thanks very much.
I'm Matt Blanchard. I'm a vegetative product manager, and I manage our vegetative geraniums, Dipladenia, Niginium patiens, and poinsettia. And for the next 25 minutes, I am going to dive into Syngenta Flowers' geranium portfolio. We have a huge portfolio of vegetative geraniums and a lot to cover, so let's get started. I first want to present a graphic that we have available for you in our catalog, and that's on page 168. And we recognize that we have a huge portfolio of geraniums consisting of both interspecifics and zonals with all different classes of vigor and recommended container sizes. So what we've done is we've put together a simplified graphic that really summarizes how all of these series position against each other and how they compare. So let's first talk about our interspecific geraniums. Syngenta offers both zonals and interspecifics, and I'll talk a little bit later of what the differences are between those two classifications. But for interspecifics, you can group these series in terms of vigor. And what vigor translates into is the recommended container sizes. So as you use this graphic and go from left to right, you will see various series recommended for small pots, medium pots, and large pots. So starting with small pots, we have a series Pretty Little and Moxie, medium pots, Calliope Medium, Caliente, and Mojo, and for large pots, Calliope Large and Caldera. And we're going to dive into each of these series and what each of these series means in a little bit later. But this is a high-level summary. And also, the graphic below indicates which of these series have dark leaves versus green leaves, and which series are a combination, and they include varieties that are both dark leaf and green leaf. Dark leaf is certainly very popular right now, but they're also a high appeal for green leaf series as well. So that's in the top part of the graphic is interspecific geraniums. And the bottom part is our zonal geraniums. We've been in the market for many years with zonal geraniums, and we have all of the vigor classifications covered with our zonal geranium portfolio. So for small pots, we have Tango, which is our dark leaf zonal geranium for compact pots. Rosalie, a new series I'll be discussing today. Americana for medium-sized pots, and Rocky Mountain for large pots. So let's go into each of these series and talk about a little bit more. Another way to look at this is which series is a geranium decision support tree, and which series are recommended for small pots, medium-sized pots, and large pots. So if you just look at small containers, you can see that there are four series that are recommended for small containers. Tango, Moxie, Pretty Little, and Rosalie, and with the different characteristics that makes each of those series unique. I won't spend too much time on this slide, but it gives you another way to look at our positioning. Similar for medium containers, we have 4 more series: Americana, Mojo, Calliope Medium, and Caliente. And for large containers, our zonal Rocky Mountain and our interspecific Calliope Large, and our new interspecific series Caldera, which I'll talk about at the end of today's presentation. For each of these series, there are made up of a large number of varieties. Some series have almost 20 different varieties in them. And the most common question that we get as product managers and also our technical service team is, well, what are your top varieties that you recommend for each series? When you have a large portfolio, it can be confusing for a lot of people. We recognize that. So for each of our series, similar to what Amy presented for our vegetative spring annuals, we've identified some of our top picks. And our top picks are ones that, if you're going to grow this series, these are the ones we would start with and recommend to really get into the series. So this is a slide. Today I'm just going to speak about our interspecific geraniums and our zonals, and I won't present ivy geraniums, but ivy geraniums are just as important for us. So one way to use this slide here is we have our recommended core varieties, but we also have these varieties also marked in our catalog. So if we just look at Calliope Medium specifically, you can see, this is an example from our catalog page. Each of the Calliope medium series varieties have a star icon for ones that we recommend as a core variety. And you can see here that Calliope medium bright scarlet is a core variety. And that matches that slide that I just presented. Calliope medium crimson flame, another core variety with that star symbol. Calliope medium hot pink, deep rose, and dark red. And this is consistent throughout our catalog. And you can use our catalog and the legend in the catalog to see what each of these symbols mean. But the star symbol is a quick look, gives you a quick glance when you're looking at our whole portfolio of which ones that you would easily can recommend to your customers with confidence. So let's dive a little bit deeper into each of these series and what they mean. And I'll show you some trial photographs and show you how they compare with other series and how they position against each other. So let's first look at the small pots, the small pot category. As I mentioned, the small pot category includes both zonals and interspecifics. And we'll first talk about Tango. Tango is a zonal geranium. If you go over to our Syngenta webcast website, we have an entire page that is dedicated to our zonal geranium portfolio. And on this webpage, you can scroll down and see links to all of our zonal geraniums. And also on the right here, there is some technical information, selling sheets, and culture information for all of our zonal geraniums. So it's all in one place. So if you want to have a conversation or a training opportunity, you can find all of our information on zonals on one handy website. It's really a great tool. But diving into our Tangos, Tango is a series that has been in the market for many years, and it's really that go-to series for compact zonals and high density production. For growers and who are looking for quick turns, and they want a dark leafed zonal geranium series, Tango is the easy pick. It differentiates from other zonals because of its dark leaf. All of the varieties have a dark leaf, and it's really one of consumers' favorite zonals for small compact production. It's represented by many different colors in the series. We have over 19 different varieties covering all of the key colors and also novelty colors. Because there's so many great colors to choose from, in addition to that core identification that we called out in our catalog, we also have classification in our Grower Success Guide. Amy referenced our Grower Success Guide and how to use that, and that's at the end of the catalog if anyone missed it. But you can go to the end of our catalog and in the Grower Success Guide and look at all of these varieties and see the classification of vigor, ranging from compact to medium vigor, and timing, so how they compare to each other. All of the data in that Grower Success Guide is backed by a lot of trialing that our R&D team has done, our technical trialing team has done, and our customers have done. And we've put all that information in one spot. We really pride ourselves in all of the trialing that we do in all of our varieties, not only before we launch the variety, but after we launch the variety, and our large repository of all of this technical and data information to really make it easy for you so we can have the answers when you come. Next, I'm going to talk about two additional zonals. One of them is a new series, Rosalie, and another one is not a zonal, but an interspecific, and that's Pretty Little. These are two novelty geraniums series for us for small pots. Let's first talk about Rosalie. Rosalie is a new series that you have not seen before, but it's really a unique series. I presented this yesterday during our new varieties introduction. And Rosalie is simply irresistible. It's a beautiful double soft pink flower that we really think is going to stand out and jump off the bench at retail. And it's really going to be a consumer favorite. Really popular as a novelty geranium. It's going to maybe for retail programs, but really, really beautiful flowers. There's nothing else like it on the market with these double flowers. It almost looks like a modern day rose. So this is recommended for small pots. Can also be grown in medium-sized pots as well, but small pots are certainly preferred. You can see the large flower buds in that beautiful shade of pink. The other novelty geranium, this is an interspecific geranium that we launched a few years ago called Pretty Little Pink Splash. Similar to Rosalie, this is great for retail programs, for impulse buying, and really jumps off the bench when any consumer sees it. What makes Pretty Little so unique is the compact habit with tons and tons of flower buds. You can see the plant is just covered. You can't even see the foliage with all of these flower buds in the bright splash color. This can be grown in compact small pots, but also in 306 packs, as here photographed on the right, a nice 306 handle pack with a spike and vinca vine in the pack. But a really eye-catching variety that we know has already been popular. It continues to increase in popularity. So that's Pretty Little Pink Splash, a great interspecific geranium. The next interspecific geranium that I would like to discuss for small pots, and that's Moxie. Now, Moxie is a great series. It includes varieties that are both dark leaf and green leaf. And Moxie, we introduced Moxie a few years ago at CAST. Moxie is the first and only interspecific geranium available on the market, specifically bred for small pots. This series is great for innovation and grower efficiency. So for growers who would like an interspecific geranium, but really need high efficiency bench run production at tight spacing, Moxie is your go-to geranium for that in the interspecific class. With dark foliage and also some varieties with green foliage, what makes interspecific breeding so much different than zonals is interspecifics really have much better branching than zonals. So when you have great branching, you have lots of flower buds and high flower power. And interspecific breeding also comes with some of these vibrant flower colors that you see. All of these beautiful flower colors that we really oftentimes can't get in zonals. So you not only have great branching, great garden performance, but all of this these wonderful flower colors. The other thing that we really select for with interspecific breeding is large flowers. We really want large flowers that make an impact out in the garden. So consumers have that large flower and are not disappointed. We have 3 new varieties in the Moxie series. One of them is an improvement, but the 2 new varieties are Moxie Orange, a beautiful bright orange that complements the dark foliage, a Moxie Violet, and a Moxie White Improved. The Moxie White Improved has been improved for and upgraded for better propagation quality, better garden performance, more flower buds, and overall just a better plant habit. If you're currently growing Moxie White, I truly believe that you'll see a huge improvement with the Moxie White Improved. We also can look at our entire Moxie geranium assortment. So with all of these varieties, they all time similarly and have similar habits, starting with the Moxie Dark Red all the way to the Moxie White Improved. We now have pretty much all of the core colors covered. Here's a photograph showing those 3 new varieties that I just recommended. The Moxie Orange in the top left, you can see grown in quart pots and also grown in a 2.5 gallon pot. Just that beautiful orange, deep orange flower color against the dark foliage. And in the bottom right, our new Moxie Violet. Many of you are familiar with how beautiful our Calliope Medium Violet is. Violet is a really popular flower color right now. Just lots of consumers are drawn to those bright colors. We expect Moxie Violet to be just as popular. And then the Moxie White Improved on the bottom left. But Moxie is a great interspecific geranium for small pots when growers need efficiency. Here is Moxie in 306 packs. So you can even go smaller than a quart pot and also in 306 packs. Really easy to control because of the vigor. Similar to all of our other geraniums, we have so much great technical information online. And one of the things that we have for Moxie are some videos that our technical trials manager recorded on Moxie finishing tips. So these were recorded by Dr. Allison Carlson. And one of them was a video on Moxie propagation and Moxie finishing. If you have time, I encourage you to head over to our website to look at these videos. They're nice and short, so you can watch them and get some great tips on how to grow Moxie and be successful with this series. So moving along, heading over to our medium pots. And for medium pots, we have both zonals and interspecifics. And starting here at the bottom with Americana. Let's first talk about Americana, which is America's #1 zonal geranium. Americana has been in the market for many years, and it is simply the go-to zonal geranium for that core volumes. So because it has medium vigor, it really does well. It's a perfect choice for 2.5 quart pots. In this photograph here, you can see the Americana, the consistency and uniformity across the bench. It is really a great series for that core, as I mentioned, that core pot size, and it's North America's #1 zonal geranium. This year, we have an additional new variety to add to the Americana series, and that's Americana Scarlet Fire, a beautiful deep orange color. Scarlet was a color that was lacking in our series, and we were trying to breed for it, and we finally have selected a great new Scarlet Fire to add to the series. And this rounds out our Americana series. So we have all of the colors covered from bright reds to whites, and this Scarlet Fire is a great addition. We expect this to really be a popular color that was needed in this series. As I mentioned, Americana is a great zonal geranium for medium vigor pots. We also have in our grower success guide that I mentioned before, all of our Americanas are listed with the differences in vigor. You can see here that they all have medium to medium vigorous classification and how they all time together in terms of flower timing. There's a lot more information on how to grow Americana and PGR tips and scheduling in our grower success guide, which can be found in the back of our catalog. Moving up from Americana, now moving up to Calliope Medium. And Calliope Medium is our interspecific medium vigor series. Many of you are familiar with Calliope and what that brand means. Calliope means intense color that lasts. Calliope was the first interspecific geranium to market with our Calliope Large, and now we're talking about Calliope Medium. Calliope Medium is all the benefits of Calliope Large, but a more controlled habit and a more space efficient package. Calliope Medium is really that sweet spot for interspecifics in between Moxie, which is a more compact interspecific, and Calliope Large. Calliope Medium is becoming one of our top selling series for Syngenta because of not only is it interspecific, but the vigor really makes this series adaptable to a range of container sizes. We recommend 1.25 quart to 2.5 quart programs, but with growth regulation, medium can also be grown in smaller pots or additional plugs, and it can be suitable to larger pots too. Medium really has all of those core colors covered and some beautiful colors like you can see here with this medium pink flame. Just a beautiful color. It's one of our favorites in the series. This pink flame color really is eye-catching, and there's nothing else like it on the market. Because Calliope is such an important brand, as we discussed earlier today and yesterday, we have what we call is Syngenta Power Brands. And what a power brand means is that it's backed by best-in-class marketing support. And Calliope is one of those power brands. So if you head over to our website, you can see Syngenta's power brands, Calliope being one of them. And if you click on Calliope, you can see all of the information that we have available for Calliope to back it as a power brand. One of them is point of purchase materials. And because it's a power brand, we have wonderful POP materials for everyone, including pots and tags, all kinds of selling literature, cart banners, bench tape, and all of this information and all of this POP can be available by talking to your preferred supplier. But it just gives another opportunity to really promote this brand. Many consumers now have recognized Calliope They recognize Calliope as a great brand, and we want to continue to promote Calliope and what it all stands for in intense color and garden performance. We have a great assortment of Calliope medium. As I mentioned, Calliope medium is one of our top selling geranium series, and we have all of the core colors and also some great novelty colors, including splash types. One new addition to our Calliope medium series is Calliope medium cherry. We are introducing this year, and cherry is a beautiful color. Here it is in the left in hanging baskets. Large flowers, you can see how large those flowers are, and this is consistent for all of our Calliope medium varieties. We really have selected varieties for large flowers. We want the consumer to have great flower power all summer long, and with flower power also comes large flowers. You can also see Calliope medium cherry on the pot on the right, grown in a 2.5 quart pot. Those large the large flowers paired with the dark foliage. Just a beautiful cherry that we expect will complement the rest of the series. Calliope medium, because it has medium vigor, it also does well in a lot of combinations. And we've seen growers using Calliope medium in mixed combos. And here are just a few screenshots of how Calliope medium can be used. This is Calliope medium pink flame, that beautiful variety. And your creativity is amazing here, where you can just combine Calliope medium with all different palettes of colors. Here's another photograph showing some other ideas for Calliope medium. On the left here, Calliope medium hot rose, pink flame, and white. And on the right, hot rose, light lavender, and medium white. You can see how all these colors just mix well together. And we're seeing growers just become more and more creative of how to use Calliope medium and make this a premium product for you at retail. We also have all of the Calliope mediums classified in terms of vigor and timing. For more information, look at our Grower Success Guide. The next series I want to talk about is Caliente. Many of you should be familiar with Caliente. We've had Caliente in the market for many years. And Caliente is one of those series that has really survived time. It's really one of those great series for summer heat performance. Caliente performs in the ground, it performs in the containers, and it really is that go-to geranium when you need a heat-tolerant series that does well out in the landscape. It has consistently won many awards in trials across the country. And year after year, we enter Caliente into trials at all of the university trial sites and public demos. And Caliente is a series that consistently wins the same award year after year. It really excels in the ground and, like I said, also in containers for exceptional heat tolerance. We have our core varieties indicated with the star symbol. We also have some photographs from trial sites. For the past few years, Caliente Coral Salmon has won an award, or at least one award in Colorado State University's summer trials. Here is a photograph from last summer at Colorado State. Coral salmon out in the landscape. It was voted the best interspecific geranium. Impressive vigor, prolific flowering all season, vibrant color. Look at that photograph, and no one can argue that that's not a great variety all summer long in Colorado. And the photograph on the right is Caliente Fire. We've improved Fire a couple years ago. This is Caliente Fire at the Lucas trials, the public trials last summer. Just a beautiful variety. And all of the varieties in general in Caliente are just great. And if you're not growing Caliente or your customer's not growing Caliente, encourage you to give it a shot. It's a great series that continues to perform well and never disappoints. Moving up from Caliente is Mojo. We introduced Mojo series last year at CAST with one color, and that color was Mojo Dark Red. And this year, we're excited to expand the series with 4 additional colors. And this year, we have added Cranberry Splash, Orange, Salmon, and White. What makes Mojo different from other interspecifics is that Mojo is a dark-leafed interspecific geranium, and it's about 20% less vigorous than Calliope medium. So that's how it compares to Calliope medium. It's about 20% less vigorous. And Mojo is a great series that if you or your customers are currently growing a zonal geranium and you will want to get into the interspecific geranium class, Mojo is that great entry series to get into interspecifics. It has medium vigor, as I said, slightly less vigorous than Calliope medium, and really unique dark foliage. And this dark foliage creates wonderful contrast with the flowers. We've selected these varieties for large flowers and also the dark foliage. Last year, we introduced Mojo Dark Red, as I mentioned. You can see how huge those flowers are in the dark foliage. One of the things that we observed last summer when we entered Mojo Dark Red in all of our summer trials, and we noticed that there was something really exceptional going on with Mojo Dark Red in terms of how Mojo performs under conditions where outdoor fertility is lower than desirable. So in trials outside where nutrition was lacking, we saw Mojo Dark Red continue to perform and not show any symptoms of leaf yellowing or nutritional deficiency. And this photograph here from Penn State, you can see Mojo Dark Red in the middle and another variety here, competitive variety on the right, where Mojo Dark Red continued to look well, great all summer long, great dark foliage, no symptoms of nutrition, and the competitive variety on the right also beginning to show nutrition symptoms really clearly in this photograph. And this was consistent for all of the geraniums in the entire trial, where Mojo Dark Red was one of those varieties that really jumped out for its dark foliage that lasted all summer long in conditions where fertility was less than optimal for geraniums. So we really think that Mojo is really special for not only its bright, vibrant, large flowers and dark foliage, but this nutrition aspect, particularly in outdoor conditions when nutrition is below optimal. Here's a photograph of Mojo just taken a few weeks ago at the Costa trials in outdoor landscape beds. Here are all of our new Mojo colors. And then a close-up of Mojo in the Costa trials out in landscape beds. Cranberry Splash in the top left, salmon right, bottom left is Mojo Orange, and the bottom right is white. We really think these 4 additions will really increase the appeal of Mojo and really complement the Mojo Dark Red. Okay, rounding out the discussion, let's head over to our large pots. So large pots, we have our zonal geraniums, Rocky Mountains, and then our interspecifics, Calliope Large, and a new series, Caldera. So let's first talk about Rocky Mountain. Rocky Mountain is our most vigorous zonal geranium that we offer. It's ideal for 2.5 quart pots or larger. What makes Rocky Mountain exceptional is its heat tolerance. There's no other geranium on the market that has as good as heat tolerance as Rocky Mountain. This series can be grown in the deep south in Miami and all the way into Texas and Arizona. It's a great series for heat tolerance that continues to flower all summer long. What also makes Rocky Mountain great is the large flowers. And that's one thing you'll see consistent across all of our geranium series is large flowers. We really want to select geraniums for large flowers, and Rocky Mountain is no compromise. With our full Rocky Mountain assortment, you can see all of our core varieties have that star symbol that I pointed out before. So you can see, and also note the award symbol in the catalog. And the award symbol are those varieties that have won at least one award in a public trial across North America. Here's a photograph of Rocky Mountain taken last summer at Lucas Greenhouse Trial. The photograph on the left is Rocky Mountain Magenta. You can see those large flowers and the prolific flowering all summer long. And the photo on the right is Rocky Mountain Salmon. You can see how beautiful that salmon color is and how large those flowers are. So Rocky Mountain is certainly a great zonal series when vigor is important. The next series is Calliope Large. I've already talked about Calliope Medium. Calliope Large was the first interspecific series to the market, and with our Calliope Large Dark Red. This was the industry's first innovation, and although Calliope Medium has become our most popular selling series, Calliope Large is still a really popular series, and it's really a great series when looking for a variety that can fill containers really quickly, looking for a variety that does well in hanging baskets and large pots, and a great premium variety as well. It has these large flowers, great branching, and tons of flower buds. We have many colors in the Calliope Large series. All of them are indicated in the catalog with the star symbols and the awards that we've won. Calliope Large Dark Red, certainly very popular. Calliope Large Burgundy, also popular for exceptional heat tolerance. As I mentioned when I talked about Calliope Medium, Calliope Large also falls under our Power brand and backed by wonderful marketing support and all the information that we have available for you on our website with POP. Some great highlights from our Calliope Large series: Calliope Large Lavender on the top left, Large Hot Rose on the right, Lavender Mega Splash, and Large Hot Pink. Calliope Large also does well in combinations. Here's a photograph of Large Dark Red mixed with Cascade White. You can see here that although Large Red is a vigorous, here it does quite well paired with a trailing Cascade habit. Also Calliope Large mixed with Scaevola on the left, or mixed with White Lobelia on the right. Another photograph showing Calliope Large Lavender mixed with Euphorbia and Rose Mega Splash. We have a lot of great technical information on all of our Calliope geraniums. I won't spend too much time on this slide, but we have a lot of information in terms of technical presentations, PGR tips, recommended PGR rates for all of our geraniums, and specifically Calliope Large, knowing that Calliope Large can be a difficult series to control the vigor because it's such a vigorous geranium, and how to produce premium quality large geraniums as well. All of this information in terms of our PGR recommendations, when to apply, recommended container sizes, and plants per pot are all available in our Grower Success Guide that our technical services team put together. And I'll wrap up the presentation with our last series and our newest series to the market, and that's named Caldera. Caldera is a new series that we are introducing this year at CAST. And if you're familiar with the exceptional heat tolerance of Caliente that I already discussed and the award-winning Caliente series, you will also like Caldera. What makes Caldera different from Caliente is its spreading habit. So where Caliente is more mounding in the landscape, Caldera has a spreading habit. Caldera, there are 3 colors in the series: pink, red, and salmon. They all have dark foliage, and the foliage gets even darker in full sunlight out in California and in Texas and in Florida. Really dark foliage that contrasts well with this beautiful flower color. They are single flowers like Caliente. We think that this series will be great for landscape applications and also large hanging baskets and balcony pots. And I'll show a few photographs of that coming up soon. But here's a photograph of how it looks like in gallon pots during production. Because it has so much vigor and it is a spreading habit, we really recommend large pots, gallons and gallon-sized pot and larger, or hanging baskets, just so you can be able to control the vigor and space it accordingly. But it's really an eruption of color that definitely beats the heat and tolerates outdoor summer performance. Here's a photograph on the left of Caldera grown in a combination. Here we have the 3 colors of Caldera, the pink, red, and salmon, mixed together. And you can see how that they all play well together in terms of habit and how they trail over the side of the pot. The photograph on the right is Caldera Pink. Here it is grown in a balcony pot. You can see how beautiful it looks like in a balcony pot or in any pot outside, just that trailing habit, tolerating the high outdoor summer heat and the temperatures outside. And we expect this to really be a great series when heat tolerance really matters and outdoor summer color is important. Caldera, because it's a new series, we have a complete culture guide available to you, and that can be found online. This culture guide includes all of our tips for fertility PGRs, scheduling, and just general timing information of how to time Caldera to produce it successfully. With all of our geranium series, we recognize that we have a huge geranium portfolio, and every one of these varieties has its unique attributes. And because it can be challenging to figure out how this one compares to this other variety, we encourage you all to reach out to our technical services team. We have a great group of people here, the industry experts, here to support you and answer all of your questions. And with that, we'll finish up and hand it over to the next speaker. And I believe that is Mike.
Hi again, everybody. I am next up indeed, and I'm going to just do a quick overview of our seed assortment to remind you that in addition to Syngenta Flowers being the market leader in vegetative geraniums, we also are the market leader in seed geraniums. Again, going back to our webcast site, you can find some information about our seed geraniums. They're buried under zonal geraniums. So just one little trick there. If you're looking for seed geraniums, make sure just look for the Essentials zonal geranium. Follow the link where Matt took you already. And again, at the top of this page, you see that there are more links to specific information on seed geraniums, both culture as well as overviews on them. And down at the bottom, what I'm just going to do is quickly cover our overall assortment of seed geraniums as a quick refresher for those of you who know the assortment, as well as for those of you who may not be so familiar with seed geraniums, a little bit of high-level background information about them. Syngenta pioneered the breeding of F1 hybrid seed geraniums more than 50 years ago, and today we're still the market leader in this class. So, and the acquisition of Flora Nova has only strengthened that assortment. So they also had a quite nice range of seed geraniums as well. So we hope you come to us as your one-stop shop for any of your seed geranium needs. Quickly looking at the chart here, you can see, again, organized by vigor and by earliness and flowering, our wide range of varieties, starting with our multi-bloom series, which is a very compact pack type or patio container growing variety, super early flowering with masses of color on it. So that variety is something, a real unique item for fast flowering and for impulse sales. And at the other spectrum of the range is the Landscaper, which is a single variety, a red variety from Flora Nova breeding that we're happy to have acquired. This variety is the go-to product if you're looking for something to really wow in large landscape beds. The bulk of our assortment and the heart of it is actually in this mid section here. And that's where our Pinto Premium is the market leading variety. It's our top selling variety in our assortment and in the world. And it's earned that spot for a really good reason. It's extremely versatile. And again, you can follow the link to it here where you can get information in our catalog. But Pinto Premium has been the top selling variety for years. It's extremely programmable. It's in the mid-vigor range. It's also got good earliness on it. It can work very well in any container size from pints up to larger quart containers, great for high density and highly programmable for early season and mid-season retail promotions. Also in that mid-class, worth pointing out, on our catalog, you can see the Bullseye. This is a truly unique variety with dark foliage. It's a reverse zone, And why this novel variety is so interesting is even when it's not in flower, that rich chocolate foliage adds really good interest both in landscape and pots, in mixed containers. Just a truly unique item, whether it's in flower or out of flower, or coming into flower. So again, that's just a really quick overview of our seed assortment. I encourage you, if you have any interest in this product range, to take a quick look through our catalog and also use this chart here as a good guide to familiarize yourself with the type and size and flowering that best fits your particular needs. With that, I will hand over the presentation to Dr. Allison Carlson, who will be talking about Alesco, and a great product. Actually, it's a perfect segue because seed geraniums are one of the products that really benefit from Alesco, and Allison has a wealth of information to share on how Alesco can help make growers and retailers come with a longer lasting, higher quality product for the end consumer. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, if you'll stop sharing your screen, I can share mine. Perfect. Turn on my video here. Hey, everybody. So yes, from seed geraniums to chrysols, Alesco, can't beat that transition. So you've done all this work to produce these beautiful flowers, and how do you get them to retail without the color completely going on them because of all the stress that they go through during shipping? While our friends at Chrysol, we've teamed up with our friends at Chrysol, hey guys out there, and are bringing to you the benefits of Chrysol's post-harvest ethylene defense product, Alesco. So, we all know this problem, shipping and delays, the dark conditions, cool, no airflow, packed on the carts, wrapped in cellophane, really not the best conditions for our live products. And then also shipping delays. The retailers aren't ready for another shipment, but you've got some beautiful flowers ready to go. How can you hold them? And the solution here is Chrysol, Alesco. So it's a post-harvest product to protect ethylene-sensitive crops. It's applied as a foliar spray a day or two before shipping to help protect them from the damage caused by ethylene and also to slow senescence. So these sources of ethylene could be external or even like internal within the plant material itself, transport stress, temperature fluctuations, and dark storage. Like I said, it can be used to hold flowers to extend the shelf life because it slows and delays senescence because of its ethylene inhibition properties. And in order to effectively do that, which is very relevant for some of you out there right now, you need to apply Alesco before the flowers start to senesce. So that way it can actually have the longest lasting effect to delay senescence. Putting it on a flower that's already very mature, you're not going to get as good of results as you would see on at the bud stage. So it reduces those classic ethylene symptomologies of petal shatter, bud abortion, leaf yellowing, just overall extends the flower longevity, which you can see in this photo on the right, and I have tons of great ones coming up on different species. It can increase the retail shelf life up to 3 weeks, depending on the variety and the environmental conditions. That is significant. It is highly effective on ethylene-sensitive crops such as campanula, dahlia, dianthus, geranium, both seed and veg, hibiscus, hydrangea, lobelia, pansy, petunia, rose, schlumbergera, and viola, and several more. We have a full list to help you be able to decide whether a Chrysol is right for your crops or not. And also on all of our Syngenta culture guides that we have in our technical library, we have noted on there which ones benefit from Alesco as well. So this photo here, you can just see the difference in flower power and also bud abortion on these untreated plants and the Alesco treated plants. And this is 3.5 weeks after treatment. So there's, you know, a lasting effect there that the customer in taking these products home is also going to see. So here's some crop by crop results. You just see with the untreated control here, lots of petal shatter, whereas on the ones treated with Alesco, after a simulated shipping that we do with all of our trialing, the ones treated with Alesco still retain their petals. And this is 4 days after the application. So this is taking them right out of our simulated shipping treatments. You see the results right away. And then this is taken 2 weeks after Alesco application. You start to see those young buds, which would be the follow-up flowers for the customers, being aborted. But whereas with our Alesco treated plants, sure, the flowers naturally started to senesce and mature, but we didn't see bud abortion on these plants, which means that they're going to continue to give color at retail and through into the customer experience. Here's some overall shots, you know, untreated and treated. Just the difference in the flower power on these plants is tremendous. And I also wanted to make sure that I noted that, you know, to date, there have been 0 issues reported with Pythium sensitivity when using Alesco. Back when, so Alesco is an STS formulation, which back when growers were mixing their own, before Chrysol made this great product, there was some research and some excellent research done with that showing some sensitivities, but we have not experienced that. With the changes in our genetics, you know, what the breeders are doing with their genetics, with the chemistries, and then also just the product of Alesco itself, we're not seeing that. So that's not a concern that we have with this product. Here's Petunia. So Petunia meltdown, big problem. Alesco really helps with this. So in this photo was taken 18 days after Alesco application. So these detrimental effects of ethylene last for a long time. And treating with Alesco, this is just one plant. 18 days after treatment, this plant still hasn't recovered from the ethylene that it experienced during simulated shipping, whereas this one's still very much saleable. And that flower meltdown is a problem because it provides an entry point for botrytis. So if you have less of that, you know, less dead plant material on your plants, it helps to reduce, you know, those secondary infections as well. Here's lobelia. You know, how many times we put lobelia out on the retail shelf after shipping and it just goes totally green and stringy and loses all of its color. Alesco helps to keep lobelia in color. And here's some results from our friends at Chrysol with hibiscus. Just real simple. Still has color, has 0 color. Which one's going to sell? Another great photos from our friends at Chrysol with Campanula, and they have an excellent time-lapse video with Campanula on their website, so absolutely check that out. And so some of the more specifics about Alesco, 1 bottle treats approximately 1 acre, so a 200 milliliter bottle treats an entire acre of product. That's an application cost of less than a penny per pot, a penny per plant. So this is a highly cost-effective insurance policy to increase shelf life and make sure that your plants sell at retail. These are the states that it's registered in. Chrysol has been fantastic about getting this registered in as many of the key states as possible. They're currently up to 35. So hopefully your state is listed on here, and if it's not, please feel free to reach out to Chrysol and and work with them to see what can be done. But this is a great assortment of states that this product is registered in. You can get it through Griffin, Winfield, BFG, and Southern Ag. Those are the brokers that we partner with for this. And it comes in 200 milliliter bottles. And just some quick tips for application. This is a silver nitrate product, easily mixed with water, no wetting agent needed, so it's grab and go. The dosage is on the bottle, it's 1 milliliter per liter. And that 200 milliliter bottle is conveniently pre-measured for a 50-gallon tank mix. Spray prior to shipment, just 1 to 2 days before you put your plants on the truck. And keep them out of direct sunlight while being sprayed. The spray solution can be used for up to 3 days after mixing, so that's really convenient, but don't mix fresh with the old. It has only a 4-hour REI, so really easy, simple, and then always follow the directions on the label. So for more information and an FAQs page, absolutely check out Chrysol's website. They have some great information on there. Reach out to Chrysol or Syngenta Flowers team for questions, and contact your broker for sales information. And real quick, here's Chrysol's Alesco website that has that awesome video that I was telling you about, and then some click-throughs and some information as well. So please check that out and let us know if you have any questions. And with that, I am going to finish up and turn it over to Scott Valentine.
Well, with that, folks, thank you. This concludes our webcast 2020. Just a reminder, hopefully what you've seen from us in the past 2 days has been our promise to our customers. That is, we bring you an innovative portfolio, a wide range of products, and they're innovative products. We bring you the best-in-class technical support. So we know our products better than anyone else in the market. We are obsessed with our quality, and we are always looking to improve our quality. Your finished great products start with our great products to you. And lastly, hopefully you've seen, is our impactful marketing. We are wonderful marketers, and our marketing group is phenomenal, and hopefully you've seen that in the last 2 days. So with that concludes our webcast 2020. I want to really thank my team. They are elite in the industry. I'm biased, but I don't think so. I have the best team in the industry. I love them. They're humbling to work with every day. So to my team, thank you very much. And to all of our customers out there, thank you for your business and your support of our products, and we will continue to serve you. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day and be safe. Everyone be safe.